here to join us to talk a little bit more about it, just to provide the facts from the Green Lakes Association, but representing himself. We want to welcome Paul Benson to the Splash. Thank you for being here, Mr. Benson.
Thank you, Kevin.
So I know we have a lot to consume with so little time, but I want to give you the platform to essentially give an overview first and foremost of the discussion with the covert and Green Lake and everything that could possibly affect the community.
Basically, there's a retention pond or pond that is adjacent to Green Lake. It has always retained the stormwater of the 17 residents that live around this pond. Recently, a dam that was built attached to a bike path has been removed, and the road commission's project is not considering the elevation of where that dam was. So it's dropping the water level over a foot, if not 20 inches, to that, and it's causing issues with our water quality and sending high volumes of total phosphorus from fertilizers that go into that pond now is being drained continuously into Green Lake. You can see that some of the photos that you posted, the huge algae blooms that came directly from this pond, then flows into our lake, is causing a massive overflow at the inlet that you see there in this photo behind me. This is the algae bloom that's created that from that pond, that of all the nutrients that are coming into our lake from that pond. We talked to the township and talked to the road commission about putting that dam at an elevation that's a safe elevation. We had tests done of the pond, and it is actually almost 4 times what the township ordinances allow to be drained to another water course. So this water has to be contained. It is not legal to come to our lake. And that's why we're addressing the township to say, you have to consider this a contaminant. And that's how you define it, as a contaminant. And that's what we want. There's solutions that we could do with the township and the residents there. Right. Because when that dam did exist, it held the water higher elevations. When they got fresh rainwater, they were able to dilute the high nutrient count in the pond, helping their environmental impact and ecosystem in the pond itself. And yet we would only get the water in extreme rain events. And right now we are not. We're getting it on a constant flow. The pond is not going to be healthier as a result, and our lake is going to take a negative impact because of it. We were asking the township to contain that water and get it back to how it was. And that's basically
so I want you to, and we do appreciate that. With us right here live on the Splash, resident in West Bloomfield, president and also president of Green Lake Association, but representing himself, Mr. Paul Benson, talking a little bit about the covert, the Road County Commission of Oakland County's work on this covert and how it can affect possibly this Green Lake and the water storm off, and how it is currently affecting, I should say, with the evidence that we have. So you mentioned something about an ordinance that's supporting what you're talking about. Can you go a little bit more into the township ordinance that you're talking about a little bit, please?
Well, basically, the township ordinance has a water criteria checklist or a chart that has a total phosphorus level that is allowed to be passed to another water course or floodplain or stream or river. And that elevation or level is a 0.05 milligrams per liter. Right now, our test has indicated that the pond right now is at 0.18 milligrams per liter. So almost 4 times what is allowed to be passed to another water course. And this is where we're asking the township to immediately, contain that water until proper solutions can be resolved to fix and get that pond water to a level that is safe to be passed to the rest of the watershed. And basically with the road commission, the ordinances require that everything has to have a full compliance to all the ordinances for the road commission to even start digging. And that this is where we're asking the township to, we have to follow all the ordinances. Those are the things that protect our environment. And we don't let our residents, we have to follow them. That's just the bottom line. And if you follow them,
100%.
our health of our ecosystems will be better. And the road
I
commission
completely understand that.
Yeah.
No, please continue.
The road commission, I talked with Andrew Peters. He was the head guy that I was communicating with at the road commission. And he basically said that the road commission doesn't do water quality. So they'll address the engineering aspects of it, but they don't deal with what's in the water and what is being drained. I then called. I then called Eagle because they said, well, we had to get an Eagle permit for this construction project, and I talked with Eagle Part 301, but that's the transportation division of Eagle. It is not the water quality division. So really, there is, with the road commission and Eagle, there has been no one from water quality division a part of this project. Fortunately for us, the township has strict ordinances on water quality.
Right. And we appreciate your perspective in providing those facts in regards to that side of the story. But we as we kind of wrap up, Mr. Benson, I do want to kind of overall, for our listeners and our watchers and our local residents who may be affected by this, may or may not, what is the overall message that you want them to kind of take away from this, from watching or listening to this?
Well, we've known it for a long time that heavy fertilizing your yards that go down to a lake or stream is detrimental to the health of that body of water. And the residents on this pond, they don't swim in the pond. It's a lagoon that they don't use it for recreational. It's just a stormwater retaining pond for the fertilizer, and they all fertilize. I walked the other day, there was 5 fertilizer signs out on their yards. So it is just their place to have all the fertilizer run into it, and then now it appears that it's going to be running into our lake. And we don't, I think the fertilizing is what is the whole project. If they clean the water and get it to a state that is below the criteria of the township's ordinances, then there's no problem. But as of right now, it's 4 times as high as it's allowed to drain to our lake. And that's why it has to stop. And we don't want to affect,
and we thank you for ultimately.
Yeah, we don't want to affect the rest of the Huron River watershed. We're a headwater of the Huron River watershed, which we're going to go to lake to lake to lake. And to have a 5-acre lagoon be a contaminant pond that we're going to allow to just go all the way through the Huron River, it's going to have a negative impact on all the fish population, the habitats that you have. It's never ending. Yes. It's like we're supposed to be stewards of our environment and leave it better than we came with it. And right now, this project,
and that's why we have you here, to prevent the facts in regards to that side of the story, Mr. Benson. But we definitely have to wrap up, and we do appreciate your time, and I definitely do appreciate all your evidence. Once again, president of the Green Lakes Association, but representing himself right here on the Splash, talking about Green Lakes and the covert in West Bloomfield, how it affects the community and water runoff. Paul Benson, thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Kevin.